open, no lockdown, 77s, people in the yard, group of sanguines all hauled together, believe a knife was up there, didn't turn aggressive, was going to detain everyone. And Bayo, someone else. Bayo was 100% there. We got told to stay in the catwalk, that there was cuffs to shoot them down. If they attacked DOC, then yeah.
So we got told to shoot as soon as they resisted cuffs. Obviously, as the 3 police officers who were together, we didn't open fire, but the person who was near the megaphone was a DOC member, and he did, and that's when they all started like punching people and running around.
I don't know if I was there or not. I'm gonna be honest. I've been up there so often. I did all the situations blend together. But I think what would help.
I think Maple might have been the other person.
I think some things that would help would, one, knowing specific names, because I've noticed that if one DOC does something, they all kind of get clumped together. Because honestly, Dark, name a DOC that you know.
I couldn't. I'll be
Bingo.
honest. Yeah, I already. The Warden is that his name?
Yeah, and that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
That's
so
yeah. I don't think that's anybody's fault, but yeah, I think names are great.
So it'd be good to get the name of the DOC who made that call, because I don't think that's standard. I don't know if that's changed from my time or your time or whoever's time. I know that things are up in aggression lately. That's from Bass, and then from Justice later on, was from Bass's own words. You got to treat these guys like they're just nothing but numbers. You refer to them by their inmate number, not their name. And you can beat them down, but don't waterboard. Waterboard's too much, but you can beat them down. May he rest in peace.
Oh yeah, I have no problem with beating down prisoners who are resisting and stuff like that. Listen, I'll be straight. This is going to sound bad, but I don't have the time right now to look into this. So what I need from you, Harvey, and obviously Aaron, you've given the information, so I don't need anything from you. I'm sure you're busy already. I need to ensure that people still have rights in prison. That's what there's a lot of things happening at prison that I am not privy to. So if you could just, Hobby, dig your nose in, have some conversations. Let's just make sure there's 50 plus people in for 30 years in a minute. You know, as much as they are treasonous, they don't lose their human rights or, use of force, excessive force, and anything like that shouldn't be happening. Especially just shooting random unarmed civilians. So I know that might be what they've been told in the past, or they're just escalating on because the situation is dire. But regardless, let's just make sure people aren't, being shot for no reason or anything's going wrong. So can I trust you to look into that, please, Harvey?
Yes, I do need to ask you for some clarification on a few things, because it's a point of contention, and it's a point of, I don't think anyone's ever really decided on this. When you're talking about rights, you just mean the right to life, eat, and food, or do you mean any right to privacy or personal belongings?
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm on about, the basics. They don't...
You free to live, free to eat, free to drink.
Yeah, and no excessive force, that kind of thing. Obviously, they don't have, listen, I'm not an expert on American constitutional law, but they don't have, a Fourth Amendment right to their bunk, for example. No, I'm not on about that. I'm just on about, let's make sure things are running how they should, and there isn't any kind of excessiveness. I mean, I don't know whether you've heard about the report with the warden and that kind of thing. Are you aware of that?
Report with the warden? The one where he got his pinky cut off?
Right. So, I mean, there was the room where his pinky was cut off was a pretty concerning room. So
I'll just speak completely open with you about that room, mainly because you are the chief of police, or the under chief, the ass chief.
Yeah, you got it.
Unless I'm crazy, I'm pretty sure I remember hearing that room was specifically constructed at the request of the commissioner's office for post-war use, but I don't think it ever was it got that use.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, who did you hear that from?
High command, DOC high command.
Okay.
It was intended to be for post-war use, but I don't think that ever went to fruition, and that was requested by the commissioner's office.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to talk to that DLC high command if they're still, conscious, and try and just get me an official statement on that, please. And who asked them to do that, when that happened, because that sounds, excuse my French, it sounds fucked, man. So we don't want that happening. So let's, look into that, please, and get back to me when you know anything. But yes, with your question, I'm just making sure that things aren't running differently, like excessively. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether you heard that the senator was shooting people from the catwalk who were unarmed. That's the kind of shit I don't want
I made that
happening.
report.
Yeah, good. Thank you for that. That's the kind of thing that we don't want. We don't want anybody doing it, but I don't want that being the norm now from DLC. Right? I don't want them seeing that and being like, "Oh, the senator did it, so I should do it too." No, we gotta,
So,
nip it in the bud.
funny enough, the reason I was able to make that report is because multiple DOC called me and pulled me aside and said, "Please go collect casings from the roof. They shot the inmates."
Oh,
Like, all right, I'll
fantastic.
go up there. I will say this though, two things is one, their use of force is the same as ours minus like I think non-compliance and open hand are in the same category. But yeah, so they shouldn't be shooting people who are just resisting.
Right. Oh, good.
That's something that I've noticed in the past, which is cleaned up since. But whenever PD respond to the prison when it's a 13 alpha riot situation, at least back when we had MP7s, what it was, MP7s, MPX, so we had like all the class 2s. PD would just go in there and just start, shooting everyone that moved.
Yeah, that's not
It's
great.
gotten better. Yeah, so that's probably where that comes from. I can talk to him, make sure that that doesn't happen. I believe, based on the description that Aaron gave me, that it may have been someone at I want to say solo cadet level, but I think that they have since been moved to CO level. So
Well, no,
Okay.
Bayo, because I know Bayo works at DOC a lot, so he might actually know who it was.
yeah, like
Okay.
if you ever need me to identify a DOC, I can name all of them.
Oh, good. That's
And as
fantastic.
far as DOC cleanup, I've been involved in the removal of at least 3
Oh, fantastic.
for shady shit. One of them being our dear good friend Winston Walker.
Wait, he was a DLC. What did he get removed for?
We were going. Me, the warden, Aurora, and the deputy warden, and the head of their investigative unit all were planning a massive flip that was going to take place at 2:45 Eastern yesterday, the one that resulted in all the shooting. And I hear over radio that Winston's just openly blabbing about it to people.
What?
So he got fired on the spot, and he had to put his stuff away and searched and found with 7 phones on him. There was another DOC with 20 phones in their locker and another DOC with 5 Brownings in their locker. So it's cleanup. Yeah, it's cleanup time.
I think DOC are just on one right now, to be honest.
You know what I think it is? Because one of the DOC explained to me exactly what it is.
Oh, damn it, Winston.
The ones that are like don't know any better are listening when they're told, "Hey, 50K and you don't take the phone off of me," or as a subpoena I wrote on one of them said that she was beat up and said that they would shank her every day if she didn't let them rob her of her phone and didn't tell anyone. She didn't communicate with anyone, didn't make a report. Yeah, it's cleanup season.
I think they all just need to relearn de-escalation as well. Like yesterday, for example, you witnessed it. Like there was a shooting which took place.
Jesus
Fred
Christ.
wasn't involved. He was in a completely different location with the judges. He then came out and was put in ADSEC with all the rest, and then he came out and then he started like he was in handcuffs and he was getting a bit mad, saying this is fucked up, and Pred being Pred. This DOC basically got his feelings hurt and said, "Okay, you're going to be locked up for 3 years as well, and ADSEC with the rest of them."
Talking about Thomas White when he did that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. It's
sounds like a
hard
mess.
because it's a mess because it's hard because they're being told one thing and then they're being told to do a different thing, because all of these things about being aggressive, not letting, or pretty much not letting the inmates take over them, is coming from the commissioner's office. It's coming from Toretti. It's coming from Justice. It came from Bass. Like the idea of to do exactly what that DOC did was a directive from the commissioner's office. Is don't let these guys, boss you around. You own this place, and they are nothing but numbers. Is directly from the commissioner's office. So if we start coming in and saying, "Oh, don't," or de-escalate, or don't give in to what they do/want, it's going to confuse the shit out of them.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I can conversate with the commissioner about that. Listen, my main concern is the at the end of the yeah, lethal force is basically it. I don't want people getting shot. Yeah, and obviously it seems like the corruption season DLC is fully underway, and it sounds like that's been handled though.
I said over radio, because he got fired and arrested over radio, and I said, "Take note, DOC. None of you are slick. You will get caught. Don't end up like Winston." That was my "I am him" moment.
Okay, well, listen, I'm sorry to dismiss you, but I'm a very busy man. I think you've got this handled, Harvey. So thank you. Keep me informed. If I'm not here, keep Stubble informed. And Aaron, thank you very much for the information, and I appreciate it.
Any questions about like DOC or like the people there, or like who's doing what? You can don't hesitate to ask.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I won't. Thank you very much. Hey, have you two got anything to drink?
I have one last thing for you. What happens when the DOJ are just taking so fucking long to check any subpoenas now because of all this?
I'll look into it. Okay. I've heard this several times.
I've got a lesbian article now from Tidus saying "fuck the Senate."
What?
Oh, I guess you haven't seen that yet. Well, yeah, there's an lesbian article, and he just tweeted out a picture of himself, and it says "fuck the Senate" as well.
Good lad. Fair enough.
All right. How was your day, Doc? I'm sorry this is all happening.
No. It's all right. Thank you, Aaron. Who's on the list? I need to speak to. Speaking to Harvey. Need to speak to Maya. Need to speak to. Let's call Minerva and then Maya. And then eventually we'll call TJ.
Hey, Dark.
Hey, Minerva, you alright?
So I wanted to reach out. I don't know if I talked to his tweets about it. I don't know. He said that he was gonna reach out to High Command. I don't know if he did. But the other day I was at Shrugway and I was asking about the budget stuff, but then he told me also that a long time ago on a game show, he paid Bass $2.5 million to be a cop for a day. And he like casually mentioned like when he was gonna be able to do that, and that he's been trying to reach out to someone from Command or High Command that could help him.
Was this Joseph Arrowhead? Is this the guy that keeps throwing warning?
It's Joseph Arrowhead, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, I saw him throwing one earlier, but I'm busy. So he paid?
Yeah. He paid Bass $2.5 million, and apparently on that game show where Toretti was also present and a bunch of other witnesses, They paid that to be a cop for a day. And I was like, I don't know. And he wanted to talk with someone from command or high command to figure out what's up with that, I guess.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I don't need this right.
Yeah.
Could you reach out to the
I
guy
know.
and ask him for some receipts, please?
Okay. Yeah, I'll go in and ask him for that, see if he has anything. I don't know how long it was. He told me a little bit ago, so I'll reach out to Joseph. I'll
Okay,
get that for you.
alright. Thank
No
you, Minerva.
worries. Bye bye.
I think I was watching in the background.
Hi, Doc.
Hello, Nathaniel, you alright?
Yeah, I'm alive. A little ill, under the weather, but, you know, recovering.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I saw your LSBN video.
Yeah. Well, kind of why I'm calling you. I had a meeting with Jenny Hall yesterday. We talked for over an hour. She seems to think you're kind of on the same page as I am. And I've always thought you were a man of principle, a man who did what was right rather than what he was told to do. So,
Yeah.
how bad is this from your perspective? This is the assistant chief of the LSPD. Just give me a 1 to 10.
I've never seen anything worse.
Me neither. Like, and I've been a judge for 4 years, right? Like, I was the judge who oversaw the war in Sandy Shore, and I've never seen anything like this. Ever.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's really bad. And the things I'm hearing, so like, okay, like there are a multitude of things to go over. Like, to be honest with you, we should have like an hour-long conversation at some point. We need to talk about the impetus for war, the setup for war, everything that got us here, the context. We need to talk about the actual military operation that occurred. We need to talk about the fallout that occurred directly after that. And then all of the human consequence that's occurred since, including how the prisoners are being treated. Like, it's bad, beginning to end. We are living in a dystopian nightmare right now, and nobody's standing up. You see that, right?
Yeah. I'm presently aware. I woke up from the ICU about 72 hours ago and have been dealing with the aftermath since. Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
I mean, to give you from my perspective right now, I'm cleaning up and pushing for accountability on PD side of things. Because small steps really, and you know, cleaning up our own mess and making sure that the city's functional is step one really. Because there's a lot of folks in PD who have zero trust in anything coming out of the commissioner's office, even high command at the minute, and that's not good for anybody. And at the end of the day, we've got a job to do. So cleaning up our own mess is first and foremost, and then obviously we've got to look up really up the chain, and that's the next step.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, like, if you saw my statement, then you know that my major issues with all this are the systemic issues, the systemic failings,
Yes.
the fact that the systems of power allowed us to get to this position. Like, that's the issue, right? Like, individuals will make mistakes, and individuals will act under duress and feeling pressured by, you know, the mad God King. But like, we can't allow that to stop us as men and women of principle to just do the right thing in the moment. And that's what we need to do now, right? Day to day, moment by moment, make the right judgments, the right calls, act from principle, try to regain some of the trust from the people, because it's all been lost. It's all been lost. And I know Pred up in prison stirring and trying to make it all sound like, you know, yo, we did war crimes and not that. But like, they're watching that video. Have you seen the LSBN article yet?
Yeah, I've seen it.
So I saw it. I'd spoken to Ursula. I've heard about the 9 hours of footage. I've spoken to Veronica Mars, who was the EMS who had the bomb strapped to her. We saw, like, he found on that video. I've spoken to her. I've heard her testimony under oath. I've spoken to multiple members of our military who were there, boots on the ground, leading operations. I've spoken to multiple members of the Sanguine Isle forces. I've spoken to basically everyone at this point, right? I've heard what happened. I'm aware of what happened. There were war crimes left and right from before any boots were put on the ground to the last moments when fucking armed EMS with class 2s, moved in and cleared that bunker. There were war crimes all over the place. It was horrendous, both sides. Accountability needs to happen. Like it does, otherwise the public's never going to trust any of us ever again.
Yeah, I agree. The big issue we're kind of having, and the question keeps being brought up, is given that the Senator has implored that we don't follow the Geneva Convention, legally, what actions can we take?
Okay, like straight up. When the senator shot Cal Pred in the prison yard 2 days ago, he attempted to murder that guy. Why nobody shot him down and arrested him, I don't know. He's not an officer of the law. He is not a military man. He is a public servant in a public position. And yes, there are legislations in there that says that the Senate's power is fucking untouchable and beyond all reproach. We don't follow unjust laws. We'll just strike it the fuck down and march on in a more just society. Doc, how many officers bring things to my courtroom where it doesn't quite fit the letter of the law, but then we look at the spirit of the law and we're like, hey, should this count? And maybe it doesn't. And maybe they don't get the conviction that day, but we change the law to make a more just society moving forward. I don't know. I don't understand anything where people just stand by, let crimes occur, and don't try to follow principle and action. Like, I think it's all wrong.
No, I completely agree with you. But
what's the law that says he can't? Oh, well, I don't know.
No. I'm not on about that. No, that situation is, that's in a pocket.
Yeah.
Once we've dealt with things, there's 60 days for that to develop.
The lawyer in me, Doc. The lawyer in me, Doc, says this isn't treason. This is terrorism because it's all politically motivated to maintain the power of a despot. I'd charge terrorism, and I could win in court if I charged terrorism. It undercuts our governmental bodies for a political aim of maintaining the power of this despot. That's what I do. Look, they once offered me the position of the district attorney, and I actively feel like at times I've been the best prosecutor in the city. That's what I do. That's how I do this. That's how I'd hold this man accountable.
Well, should that situation occur and we as PD decide to push charges, that I'm assuming that's something you'd be comfortable prosecuting.
I would step forward and do that any day of the week.
Good to know.
What I'm going to say to you, Richard, is man to man, like, we don't really know each other. We bump into each other every now and again, right? But yeah. Libby Reed knows you. And Libby Reed appointed you. And Libby Reed, when I was first appointed as a judge, was my own personal bailiff when she was a member of the Department of Corrections. I trust that woman with my life. I trust her because I know her and I know her principles. I know who she is as a person. And if she picked you, okay, I'm in. I trust you too. Jenny Hall trusts you too, right? She's the one. She doesn't want to make this her fight, but she told me, you are a man of principle and you will stand up for what is right, not for what they tell you to do, what is right. Now, I know Dominic stepped down, right? But I feel like me, you, Libby, Dominic, any other man or woman of principle, and I'm going to be honest with you, Richard, there are multiple judges who are willing to stand with me against this, right? Probably 4/5 of the working judiciary, and then 9/10 of the lawyers, because I train them all, right? They will stand with me against this kind of injustice. I can drag the DOJ with me to these discussions, like in its entirety, basically, apart from a couple of stooges who were there because the Senate picked them. But those people, and then other men and women of like principle, and they might not even agree with us, right? But like, I know there are people in that PD who follow their gut and follow their conscience. People like Jackie Snow, right? He's a military man at heart. I know he is. But he always does what he thinks is right. And I think you can talk to him. I think we can talk to him and like explain what went wrong here. And I think there are good men and women there who would stand with us. And I think we should like stop talking internally so much, because I've talked to the DOJ for days, and I'm sure you've talked to the PD for days. But it's time for us to like join together as a society and have discussions on a larger scale. And if that's all done publicly, like in a town hall, we do that too, right? Like it's time to get loud. It's time to have discussions. It's time to have some meetings, like DOJ and PD, and we'll talk. Just basic principles, figure out what went wrong, how we fix this, like what the next steps are, and then like start talking to the people. It's important.
Yeah, I completely agree. The longer we stay silent on these issues, which is unfortunately what we have done thus far, the worse it's going to get. And the longer we take is the less chance we have to actually get something out of this and make some real change and get rid of the systemic corruption that exists in Senator Davis and who knows who else.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure we could both come up with a list of names of people who are just too happy to only be following orders, but we haven't allowed that to stand for 80 years, and I'm not letting it stand now.
Yeah, me neither, Grayson.
I'm glad I talked to you, Richard. So we'll arrange a meeting over the coming days, and I don't care when it is. You tell me when the people you know you can get a hold of are available. I'll grab who I can. We'll just come together and we'll have some talk. We'll like sit down and hash through the meat of it.
Yeah, that sounds great. PD High Command are having a meeting in like half an hour to an hour, so we're gonna get on the same page for the first time because both myself and Stubble were in ICU for like a week, so this is the first time we can really get on board, and then obviously we'll start. Hopefully things will get moving quickly, and I'm making sure that's happening.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, of course.
Have they found that yet?
No.
Jeez, I like Edward. He's one of the good ones.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. Thank you for keeping me informed. They blew that island when you had officers MIA on it, right?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Had officers missing, and I'm not happy. I'm really not happy, Richard.
Neither am I.
Be safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Because just talking like this, you know the way that law's written, right? You can read it. You're not stupid.
I'm aware of the consequences, but...
Me too. And I'm willing to pay them. And here's the thing, Richard. I'm willing to be held accountable publicly for every time I didn't step forward up until now to let it get this far. And I want to express to you as a man, I am sorry I didn't stand up when they did this to Michael Simone.
Yeah.
Because when they removed his due process, when they did that, they set the precedent. They were allowed to do this, and we let it happen. And I just feel horrendous about it.
Oh, are you twitching? Are you very caffeinated, sir?
Well, listen, I think, looking back on the past, and he does so much, we're just gonna make sure that it doesn't happen again, and that goes for the Sanguine situation too.
Yeah, we've got to make sure that people's rights are upheld, people are protected, and that no more fucking war crimes happen domestically. I trust you to do your part.
Off.
Oh, right. All right, sir.
Jesus Christ.
I'll talk to you later. I'll let you go. We'll arrange a meeting.
Sorry about that, Grayson. Yes, we will. Thank you, Grayson. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Bye-bye,
Bye-bye. You're just a fucking idiot, man. Oh, no, he's going to ask for a fucking press statement, man. And I'm going to have to tell him they said no. Can't call him back. I just can't. I'm going to have to ghost the guy. Yeah, but that's so bad. That's part of the fucking problem, man. What to do. Oh, fuck off. Richard Dog speaking.
This is a prepaid call from
Kyle Pred, freedom fighter.
an inmate at the correctional facility.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Are subject to recording and monitoring. To decline this call, press 9 now, and to accept this call, press 1 now.
Beep.
Thank you. Your call has been accepted.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing there, Dick?
Hello, Pred. Yeah, I'm doing. How are you?
Are you doing? I mean, are you aware of everything that's going on?
I'm very aware of everything that's going on.
How are you?
Yeah. Yeah, you know about the war crimes?
Yeah. What? Oh, did you hear about how the senator tried to shot me down in the yard, and then
Yeah,
Axel
I heard about
Justice
that.
shot down a bunch of other people in the yard too?
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Heard of how everybody just stood there and did nothing?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Heard you suspended Brian, but how come you haven't suspended Malton?
What did Moulton do?
Just stood back and watched as we all got shot in the yard and did nothing to protect us. Is he a cop still?
Yeah, Moulton's a police officer.
Yeah, I mean, how come he didn't do his fucking job? Selective enforcement's a goddamn bitch. I know we should have gotten rid of that. Jesus. How come you ain't come to see me yet, Dark? Yeah, I'm a goddamn warlord.
I think you underestimate the amount of shit I'm cleaning up right now.
Oh, the amount of shit you're cleaning up? Well, I have all the information, bitch.
Wait, why are you calling me a bitch? Why is
That's
that
prison
necessary?
talk.
Okay, well,
That's
yeah,
how we talk in
that's not
prison.
okay. Well, I'm not in prison, so we don't need to. We don't need
Bitch.
to, okay.
You gonna come see me? You gonna come visit me? Come on.
I will come.
Don't
see
worry,
you.
I ain't gonna kill you.
I know you're not.
Look, I ain't got. Where else am I supposed to go right now? All I got is these walls, these high walls.
Yeah, I understand.
What are we
Listen,
getting released early because everybody just followed a warmonger that violated U.S. constitutional law and committed war crimes? When the fuck do we all get out because of that madman?
I don't know.
When's that happening?
I don't know about that.
It's because you don't care about the peoples that are involved. That's right. You don't give a fuck about us. Yeah. You're more concerned. You're just like Toretti. You're more concerned with the fact that you look like shit and that you look ineffective and you look like a bad leader. That's why you're stepping up and doing things now, not out of the kindness and out of what you perceive justice to be. You're just sitting back in your high tower watching as all the ants just roam around the hill. And instead of trying to help the people that are political prisoners who didn't take up arms against anybody, but chose to defend true freedom after Brian Knight and Sam Bass violated the treaty, and then somehow they were able to start a fucking war and get everyone on board and send countless people to fucking die. We're painted as criminals and treasonous, but when I look, it's everybody else on the other side of the line that's a criminal and committing treason because they're not standing up for what's right and the true justice that there is. So what are you going to do for us? Oh, we don't fit your agenda, do we, Dark? We don't fit it at all. Because like I said, you don't fucking care. It's just like I told Toretti, the optics are so bad on you guys that you're just focused on recovering your end and you don't give a fuck about the people, you don't give a fuck about us, and you don't give a fuck about freedom. So I'm sorry to take you away from whatever bullshit office coffee talk you're having with some whiny fucking pussy, but there's real people that need your needs too. There's people that need somebody to fucking get things done. And are you that person? Because to me, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like you're listening to a bunch of whiny fucking pussies piss and moan about their own fucking conscious choices because they are living people, not fucking robots. They chose to do the wrong thing. We chose to do the right thing. We chose to stand for freedom and everything that you're supposed to stand for. And yet, here we are. 30 years, no due process, treason charges. It's all bullshit. So what have you been up to? Because you haven't talked to me. You haven't tried talking to Jaeger. You haven't tried talking to any of us. You're just sorting the shit on your end because that's all you give a fuck about. You're so full of shit. I always knew it. If you really believed in justice, you would have been there with us. Because you know just as well as I do that tyranny cannot reign. Tyranny cannot call the shots.
I just finished a conversation with a DLC liaison to ensure that you guys aren't getting shot when you're unarmed by DLC, because I heard some concerning things.
They do that shit all the time.
Right. So now that you've finished your rant about how I don't care about people's rights, yeah, that's not true, Brad. And you know, you can do the screaming thing and keep going about that. But you know, as long as you weren't lying to me all those months ago, years ago even, you helped me get into the position of internal affairs for a reason. Even though it, you know, cost you a few suspensions. You know, you might have changed. I haven't.
How have I changed? I'm still the same man I was.
You know, I wish I
because I'm a
believed that.
warlord for a foreign nation now, I've changed.
No, because the Predator I know wouldn't have shot Leonova in the head.
All right, look, this keeps on getting brought up. She, if you were, she wanted me to shoot her. I swear to God, she did. I thought it was like my old Yeller.
Okay. Right. Listen, I will come speak to you. I will come speak to Jaeger.
What about getting us out? I mean, how the fuck are we in here?
The conversation on due process is happening. That being said, I think we all realize here, Brad, that the issue is the Senate. And right now there is zero checks and
balances. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're absolutely way off. It isn't the Senate. It's the people that choose to be complacent and follow people, despite knowing what they're doing is wrong and not knowing exactly why they're doing what they're doing. Problems do start at the top, but people being weak-minded, weak-willed, and just following in the conga line are more to blame than the senator is. And that's something you got to wake up and understand.
I don't disagree with you. I'll be honest. I don't. Complacency is what got us into this position. And not questioning orders is also what got us into this position. But
when are you going to come see me?
Well, I've got a high command meeting in about 20 minutes. So, perhaps
who's
one
all going to be there?
Well, me and Stubble were in the ICU until a couple of days ago, so we haven't really had a chance to catch up with everybody.
Come put a collar on me and take me to your meeting.
I'm not taking you to the bloody meeting.
I'll tell everybody. I'll tell everyone.
Tell us what? What do we not already know?
Oh, there's tons you don't already know, Dark.
Name something, because I have a list that is longer than my penis. And that's saying something.
Well, that's not too hard.
Okay, no, it is saying something.
Brian Knight took RPGs for the war from Lang Buddha.
Before the conflict occurred.
Yes.
Okay. That could be. Now, I'm. If this was done through official channels, then it is possible that that could
Don't
have
you
been
got
done through.
receipts for where all the? Can't you subpoena receipts for all the equipment and where it came from and who paid for it?
Yes, we could. Yeah, that is news to me though, so I appreciate that. Right?
Why was Brian Knight meeting with Lang Buddha so much before the war took place?
How do you know this?
Why? Let me ask you another thing. One of the main reasons for the war was for a POW that was allegedly there, the captured cop.
Right, and then there was no negotiations for said captured cop.
How come everybody was aware that the captured cop wasn't on Sanguine even before the conflict took place? How come that's a known fact between Brian Knight and Axel Justice and Senator Davis that the POW that was supposedly one of the main reasons for you guys going to war wasn't on the island? How come they know that? How come that was directly confirmed by Brian Knight himself? How come the reason for the war is because Sam Bass and Brian Knight sent an undercover cop to gather information to commit crimes on foreign soil, and somehow that was used as information in order to not make arrests, not ramp up protections from what's going on or being transported overseas, and it was just used and they just immediately ramped it into a war because they got found out that they violated the treaty first. The war was just a cover-up. Why do you think they fucking immediately jumped into the war and avoided every type of channel of contention? Heard you suspended, Brian Knight.
Yeah.
How come you're not subpoenaing his phone? How come you're not subpoenaing Axel Justice's phones? How come you're not subpoenaing Senator Davis's phones?
Because criminally, this is complex. When it comes to internally, it's not so complex. But when it comes to criminal matters, because the senators...
Then that's why you fucking, that's why you subpoena shit, dumb fuck.
Okay, dumb fuck. Under what probable cause?
Hey. What, under what probable cause? What do you mean, under what probable fucking cause?
Come on, you were a cop. You spell it out.
Spell it out. Treason, you stupid bitch. They committed treason. The probable cause is that leading up to the war, if they're aware that there's no POW on the island, if they're not if there's only reasonable suspicion that there's bombs being transported or manufactured back and forth, why is there a war? If they're sending out undercover cops, and this is public information that everybody knows about, to foreign soil, where is all the information at? Have you even tried looking for reports? What are you doing?
But we were eventually presented with the evidence. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that they had time to fucking doctor it. Yeah, that's real fucking convenient. Eventually. How come this stuff wasn't known about beforehand? Did you even know that they sent an undercover cop to Sanguine?
No, we wasn't made aware.
Oh. Isn't that kind of odd? I mean, you're the assistant chief of police.
Listen, I really want to make something clear. I don't know whether you try to sow discontent here or whatever, but it's not necessary. The discontent is
What
there.
do you mean? I'm trying to give you information.
No, I know, but when you ask questions like, why I didn't know things, I'm already pretty pissed off about that stuff anyway. Like, listen, we may be on different sides of this conflict, but we have very similar opinions on things.
No, I think you're on our side of the conflict, if I'm being honest. I think a lot of people are on our side of the conflict. I think a lot of people even participated on the opposite side are now on this side of the conflict. You go enjoy your meeting. You know where I'll be. Now hang up.
No,
Why?
because you asked me to.
You want to keep talking? We can keep
No.
talking.
But I'm just going to put you on silent and put you
How
in my
about
back
this?
pocket.
How-
Are you stuck on the phone? Or
how-
what's going on?
How about you ask me some questions? What is it that you are curious about? You know where the equipment came from? Bucky Barnes was sitting in on your guys' goddamn meetings. He trained the people, supplied them with weaponry. That means Aegis supplied you guys with weaponry. That means that Cerberus in turn supplied you guys with weaponry. Who paid for the weapons? The state. Who profited? Lang Buddha. All roads lead to Rome, don't they, Dark?
Okay, question then, because it's still unclear. What is the relationship between Lang, Butter, and Jaeger?
Father and son.
And the status on that relationship, is it a good one?
No, it's not a good one at all. But the one thing that particularly gets me is that Lang Buddha came to Sanguine Isle 2 days before the fucking war. Fighter jets were in the sky from because they must have saw him glider Cerberus glider suit on over to Sanguine Isle. So the real question that I am curious about is, and this could probably be triangulated from phone calls and text messages made from Lang Buddha, unless he was using a burner phone, which is completely not outside of the realm of possibility. Why isn't he in on treason when he did it as well? Why is he not here? I mean, it was very clear that people, if you weren't supposed to set foot onto Sanguine soil, but you mean to tell me that the 2 fighter jets missed a guy who was gliding back to Los Santos that saw him come here and then saw him leave? And then nobody really cared to investigate anything. I mean, how did that one slip through your guys' fingers? What are you guys doing? I still haven't seen anything come from the investigation that took place that Pond's doing. You should really talk to her. Oh, but you probably don't know about how Crystal Clear was kidnapped. And I got taunted by Lang Buddha right as the conflict kicked off, leading me to believe that someone was communicating with Lang Buddha when the conflict was kicking off so that he could go after someone that I cared about. But of course, I don't know. I only used to be a cop. I'm not a cop anymore. So what exactly is going on, and who is exactly protecting Lang Buddha? Why would they protect him? Any ideas?
Seems that Brian's pretty central to all of this.
Yeah, doesn't it? Maybe that means you should start subpoenaing phone records. Triangulating where phone calls and text messages took place. Doing basic police work.
I'll come see you later, okay?
All right. You better get the ball rolling, Dark.
Fuck me. It gets worse. Ay, ay, ay. Um, fuck me, dude. Holy shit.
Dispatches back on frequency after this critique.
I'm fine. No, you're excused. No, you're
Huh?
excused. You're excused. No, you're excused.
Central marking internet at 0243.
I could do this for hours.
Oh yeah, can I talk to you for a second in the office?
What's the status on press on hail?
But-
You are. And honestly, by the way, great.
What the fuck is going on?
Sorry, I had to do a UC op and burger shot to find crime. Definitely didn't go there undercover to buy carrot cake, but no one was there. How are you, Dark?
You wanted to pull me into the office to tell me you went undercover to buy carrot cake?
No, no. Are you? I saw you sucking back an IFAC. Do you need food?
Yes, and water, please. Support.
God, you're like a command IFAC diet, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we wrapped up the that mission yesterday. No problems. Didn't come across any hostiles. No MiGs. No nothing. Island for the most part is clear, except for one spot at the end of the airfield closer to the carrier side. So I think the west, there was a red shipping container with like uranium rods in it. So I dipped out of there pretty quick. We had like a local hazmat team come in and deal with that. So that's dealt with. But the island itself is still irradiated from that. Obviously being the biggest part being the airstrip. But the rest of the island is mostly safe. So there's no chance of, fallout coming our way. So I'm going to inform that doctor that was looking for it. Just be like, hey, don't worry about it. It's all good. So yeah,
Okay.
Good news, I guess, apart from, uranium rods.
Yeah, good news. Fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Kisses. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jerry. Oh, Jesus Christ. Isn't there a meeting room across from Mr. Rowe?
Hello.
Yeah, mate. Could we use this for the high command meeting? No. Fox bedroom. This could work. You know? Maya, I'll call you back.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, two questions. First question, where's this meeting happening? Do we know?
I think the SCSO.
SGSO? Okay.
Yeah, that's where
Second
Owner and I
question.
going.
All right. Second question. Do you have... Where did we get our RPGs from during the war?
Our ones, they were outsourced from a contract by the Senate from mainland U.S. military armory.
Right. Was that the new stuff or that like a separate thing?
Noose and from a special military contractor.
Wait, do we know who the special military contractor was, or
Special military contractor probably worked with
right.
Mr. Q.
I'll cut to the chase. I just got off the phone with Pred, and Pred is saying that Brian was supplied with rocket propelled grenade launchers from Lang Buddha
during the war,
like prior to the war. So like, yeah, but yeah,
that's
during the
me.
right, news to me too. Concerning news, and I don't know whether it's factual, which is why I wanted to give you a call. But all right, it's something I'll bring up at the meeting.
Yep, yep, sounds good.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, to SDSO. Why would Pred lie? I mean, technically he is a treasonous, guys. Let's not forget.
Hey, Mr. Doc, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. What was your name again?
Melvin Graves.
Graves, that's the one. Yeah, reminded me of... Graves reminded me of the dead people. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, a trooper said it reminds him of a school teacher name. And then it made me realize I also had a teacher that was Mr. Graves.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I guess that's right. But then, cursed with that name and cursed with the name Melvin, not really the luckiest am I in that regard.
No, not really. Not really. Well, listen,
How you do, sir?
Not great, Melvin. But listen, you hold down the fort here, okay? I gotta head
Doing my
out, but
best.
I appreciate you, buddy.
That's fine. You have a good night, sir.
I didn't want Doc to be wearing the eye patch anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of that. I need to put the Crocs back on. You reminded me. Then let's try to speak to the EMS itself. Doc has done so. No, Doc has tried to do so, but has been shut down. Not shut down, but she's basically in hiding right now, which, don't blame the woman. I got two bits of good news, actually. First, congratulations. I didn't mean to do that.
This is mind-blowing. I'm sure you thought this never day would come.
What's Mountain saying?
Radical concept. The commissioner fully agrees that MCU detectives
Yeah, I can do that. That shouldn't be too hard.
Wait, does that include me?
Would include you, Harvey.
Oh, finally. Holy shit.
You don't have to include Harvey's. I leave that up to you.
Don't know what that's about. And I don't want to listen too much through walls. Is it a private meeting? If you're on about the high command meeting, it's in character. So you'll be able to listen to everything.